What's going on, sports fans? Once again, it's Case through the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. Talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. Now, Auburn is still on the recruiting trail and even looking forward to 2020. Right now, Auburn has the 17th ranked recruiting class based on everybody that they have signed so far. When we look at this, you know, Auburn is not getting off to like a spectacular start, but there's still some time left. But Auburn received a huge decommit from Quandarrius Robinson. That was going to be something that was going to help solidify them at that defensive end position and possibly linebacker position. Quandarrius wound up decommitting from Auburn allegedly after a visit to Alabama. Now, if you look at Quandarrius Robinson's timeline for his recruitment, Auburn was the very first school to offer him back in July of 2017. So he's been somewhat of a solid commit. He's been going to a bunch of different camps and things, even at Alabama. He's been kind of flipping that back in between Alabama and Auburn for the last couple of years. Really not visiting any other schools. The only schools that he's really visited is Alabama and Auburn. So when you look at this, guys, you have to remember that these guys are really trying to test their value. You know, as the recruiting process gets a little bit closer to time, a lot of those schools who really haven't been, recruiting them very heavy for the last few years. I mean, you got to understand, this is an in-state recruit. And the dude lives in Birmingham, which is right up the road from Tuscaloosa and not too far, obviously, from Auburn. So they have hands-on with kids in state, obviously. So pretty soon you're going to have different teams, different conferences who are going to be looking at this kid. I mean, he got offered from the Oregon Ducks. Obviously, he hasn't gone to visit Oregon yet and probably will not commit to Oregon. But right now, the two solid schools in place for him is Auburn and Alabama. Right now, statistics show that he has about an 80% chance at this point to still commit to Auburn. But I'm going to tell you what it's probably going to come down to. Obviously, you want to look at what kind of season Auburn has this year, what kind of season Alabama has. Possible coaching changes could come into play. Things of that nature. Who is he going to be playing with? He wants to kind of get a gauge for, the guys he's going to be playing with. How quickly will he be able to get on the field? All of those will be huge factors. And of course, you want to look long-term in your future. What is my probability of making it to the NFL? And like it or love it, Alabama has produced, especially on the defensive side of the football field, has produced a lot of NFL talent. So all of those things are going to come to play, but it's still early in the game. I don't think anyone should panic at this point because of a decommit. What you need to be worried about is whether George Pickens, we talked about him in the last couple of videos, what you need to be worried about is whether George Pickens decides to flip at the last minute. Because what George Pickens is trying to do, I'm telling you, he's trying to get on ESPN. He's trying to have this dramatic choosing of where he goes to school, where he's got all the hats lined up, and then he puts on, hopefully, the Auburn hat. Once again, it's Case through the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. Shout out to my fearless and true gang. Like, comment, and subscribe to the content. You all take it easy.